Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we're going to be doing some team testing in the Dream Realm Lone Gaze Endless Mode boss without Reinier at Mythic Plus, and then finally we'll end it off with some Reinier team testing. As of right now, this is my most powerful team, I believe, in order to get a high damage score off on the Lone Gaze boss. So we'll try this team towards the end of the video, but for right now what I want to try first of all is going to be a Shakir team, because I think if you don't have Reinier at Mythic Plus and if you have a Shakir at Mythic Plus, then he can be a really good option to run instead of the Reinier here, because really the whole idea behind this team composition is to keep all of your allies alive for as long as possible, especially OD because he gets off his damage, but the boss will gain buffs. If you look at his skills, he will gain a stat boost when he defeats one of your team, and even after defeating one of your allies he gets a huge defensive boost. He gets a haste boost which will give him more damage output, and if he gets a defense increase, your damage output is going to be heavily reduced. So you want to keep your entire team alive throughout the entire fight, and that's why probably running single damage dealer and then just everything else to protect him is the way mostly people have been running in the Lone Gaze boss. But we will try a double damage dealer team as well, maybe Merrily plus OD. But first I want to try this team because I think this will be the all-time strongest team if you don't have Reinier at Mythic Plus, but if you have Shakir at Mythic Plus. If you don't have Shakir at Mythic Plus, he will not have this ability, which will mean that his ultimate cast will be a little bit longer, and he won't be in the wolf form for as long. However, he still will be able to get into the wolf form, and he will still be able to provide this reduced damage effect onto anyone within the Lupine Aura effect, which is within 2 tiles. So you can experiment with him before Mythic Plus, but he will not be in the wolf form for as long. He won't get the wolf form as quickly, and of course if he will not be plus 10 exclusive equipment and would not be giving any of your team an attack buff, but just his damage reduction buff can be pretty useful, and he gets off pretty good damage himself. For the artifact, either evocation spell or quick blade spell, but because we're going for all like trying to focus on survivability, the shield and life drain buffs from the evocation spell I think are just going to be better, and also the HP buff that the artifact gives. So without further ado, let's try this team. If you're going to run this team, I would recommend Thorin Soul Pacting the OD, because the boss will usually always target your most backline hero, and here it is OD. So you would want that Thorin would be Soul Pacting that hero. If you wanted to reposition and have OD up towards the front and then another hero in the backline, it should still be the one which is going to be Soul Pacted to allow Thorin to keep it alive for longer. One thing about OD and why he is the preferred damage dealer here, even in Endless Mode, is we're going to watch it right now, but when the boss goes into his form where he's not targetable, I think the poison damage that OD stacked is still ticking on the boss, but we'll have to check that. Either way, OD does well because he's a damage dealer which doesn't move around the map, and so we know he's always going to be the one primarily targeted by the wolf boss and all of his wolf summons. And so if you have him soul pacted by Thorin, who is Mythic Plus, you're guaranteed to get that protection on your damage dealer. And that's why we also have to run Coco here. We need to keep everyone alive for as long as possible, especially your damage dealer. So we got 28.5 billion damage with the Shakir team. Let's take a look at the damage chart. So look at that. This is also the reason why Thorin is so good in this boss, because Thorin receives a lot of damage from the boss and he can damage reflect it back. He dealt even more damage than OD, which is absolutely insane. Smokey also gets a lot of damage off if he's Mythic Plus, so ideally on every hero on this team you would want them to be Mythic Plus, but the most important ones in my opinion are OD, of course he's your damage dealer, and Smokey and Thorin maybe, because the Thorin damage reflector is good, but also the Soul Pact. You want him to be protecting your backmost hero, so I really think, yeah, Soul Pact, probably Thorin is actually even more important than Smokey, because even without the damage from Smokey, you still will be able to at least survive with Soul Pact from Thorin. Shakir at Mythic Plus would be great. Don't prioritize his plus 10 exclusive equipment. As you could see in this boss fight, Sometimes the Lupine aura is going to be on your OD, but for the most part it's going to be on the rest of your team, and giving them the attack buff doesn't matter as much. It's really for the haste and damage reduction buff you want him, and he provides that even without plus 10 exclusive equipment. You can just get him to plus 5. And Coco will provide the damage reduction, damage staggering, even without Mythic Plus, but Mythic Plus more shielding for survivability is good. And that gave us rank number 2, even though there are 4 other people in our server who are a higher level than us, but the levels have pretty much capped out here. Splash got a really good damage score. But yeah, so this was a non-Reinier Mythic Plus team. We're getting 2nd in the season, and if we take a look at the district, we are ranked 7. So yeah, this is kind of what I was expecting with this team, but this is a really good option if you don't have Reinier at Mythic Plus. Now let's go ahead and try a different option. Next up, I want to try, you could try Kruger, because Kruger would deal damage on his own. Pretty good damage. Let's try Kruger, and then we can try the next option I was thinking of, and I will keep that a surprise for right now. We don't really need him to have his shield, and we're gonna go for the evocation spell again. I think that's fine. Yeah, and this is why, again, Kruger doesn't need to be Mythic Plus. He would do, like, I mean, his damage, of course, will be higher with every ascension you can get for him, but his key thing is to provide the defensive debuff, although it isn't really powering up anyone in this team other than himself. I don't know if Thorin deals physical damage, I kind of forgot about that. But if it does, then Kruger would also be powering up the Thorin a little bit. But we're mainly doing it for the factional bonus of 4 Mauler faction, and also another tank in the front is always, like, not a bad thing. And as you can tell, with the Soul Pack plus Smoky Heals plus Coco Shields, it's impossible for the boss in Endless Mode to kill your OD, and that's really what you're shooting for. But next up, I think, okay, so what I wanted to try was, I wanted to try Lucius, because he's been doing well in the seasonal Dream Realm bosses because of his seasonal skill. And also his shielding would give you some more survivability. Maybe if you're Coco and Smoky, or maybe you don't have Thorin at Mythic Plus, you could try Lucius shielding to keep your OD alive maybe for longer. But I don't think Lucius really would be the best option, and this is getting off even more damage than the Shakir team, so who really needs Shakir? And definitely you don't need Shakir at plus 10 exclusive equipment. I think that is something I really recommend to a lot of people. So yeah, so Thorin got off less damage because I guess he wasn't receiving as much damage to reflect back, but Kruger got off a lot of damage, and Odie also got off more damage than in the previous fight. Okay, let's go ahead and try the next team lineup. Which will it be, Lucius, or will we go right into double damage dealer? Let's try double damage dealer. Now, the issue with double damage dealer, and this is something you have to be very careful of, is if Merrily ends up being further back, and so to protect against this, we're gonna have to put this 1 tile back. This is gonna guarantee that OD will almost always be the backmost hero. I think no matter where Merrily jumps to, I don't think Merrily's gonna jump all the way back to the back line. And so the boss will be targeting OD. And you want this because you want your soul pacted hero in the back to be taking the damage. Otherwise, if Merrily takes it, Merrily could get popped and killed early, giving the boss a stack of his buffs, and also just reducing your damage by a lot. So if everyone can survive the entire fight with Merrily in here, then probably this would be the all-time best team. We're gonna have to see whether this will get off more damage and whether everyone can survive. Yeah, I think if you position like this, and if you have Soul Pact from Thorin, hopefully this should be enough. And also the good thing is the boss is... Okay, there we go. So the boss did kill Odie. I don't know how this happens and why it didn't happen when we had Kruger and Shakir in the team. Like, the boss didn't double attack like that when we had those in the team. But for some reason, when you have like 2 damage dealers, I feel like this happens a lot. And now Merrily's also going to go down, and we're not going to get even as good of a score. So even in Endless Mode, I think unfortunately it still will be sticking to a single damage dealer. Maybe you could try your RNG, and if Odie didn't get killed there and survived the entire fight, this would be our highest damage output. But Merrily, she only did even 7.5 billion damage, and in our first run Thorin did more than that, and in our second run Kruger did almost as much damage and gave you the factional bonus of 4 Mauler. So I think Merrily is not really too great in this boss, so that is something to keep in mind. Okay, so final one before we try the Reinier team and end, or like try to compare, I think we're going to be trying Lucius. Now, if you have like, yeah, I think Lucius can be run even at low ascension levels. So you do not have to have him, like definitely not Supreme Plus. Even at like Legendary Plus, he gets the bulk of his skills. The other two skills are mainly for a self shield from his Mythic Plus and attack reduction onto the boss, which I guess that could help you. Keep you alive. So Mythic Plus could maybe give you some more survivability, and then this is a bit more healing, which doesn't matter a huge amount. Like Smokey is going to be healing your team in this lineup. Yeah, so I think this is the only other final hero I wanted to try for this Lone Gaze boss. Like, I mean, you could experiment with other tanks, like even Corrin maybe, and if you could survive with Corrin, Corrin would also get off a lot of damage. Maybe even Temesia. But this is the final one we'll try, and then we will go for the Reinier comp, which will be just replacing Lucius here for Reinier. But yeah, Lucius is a good option. His seasonal skill will give you 10 haste on all your heroes after 10 seconds after the battle begins, and then 15% damage boost for all your heroes 40 seconds after the battle starts, if you have all of your heroes alive at these time points, which you should do. Definitely like 40 seconds in, you should have all your heroes alive. But very interesting that Kruger did actually even better than Shakir at plus 10 exclusive equipment Mythic Plus. And Kruger can work effectively. Okay, we got taken a bit low there, but not low enough. Yeah, in the previous battle we had, at 30 seconds, Odie got wiped because the boss double attacked him with his Shadow Wolf summon, those purple wolves, but this time it didn't happen, and the shields from Lucius are also protecting the Odie, which is good. Odie almost died there, but not enough. But our damage output is quite a bit lower. Yeah, with Lucius here, your damage output will not be comparable to Kruger, so it's better off you just run Kruger or Shakir. Unfortunately, Lucius is not a good option here, clearly, although Odie got off a lot of damage. It's crazy how the damage chart works. Like, he got off so much more damage in this team than our first team that we tried, even though Odie was alive throughout the entire duration. Okay, let's go ahead and now try the Reinier team, which I think is going to be the all-time best team. And in this team composition, the way we've positioned it is that we want Reinier is going to be the one targeted by the boss, because Odie is going right into the face of the boss. And so, without any fear. So the Reinier is your backmost hero, which the boss is going to preferentially target, so you want him to be soul pacted by the thorns so that Reinier doesn't die, because you don't want anyone dying here. And especially your Reinier, if he's at Mythic Plus like mine, he's your lowest ascended hero and he can die more easily. So our best damage score was almost 29 billion, right? It was 28.8 billion or so with the Kruger. So let's see how much higher we're going to get with this. I'm expecting maybe 30 billion. We will have to see. How comparable is Kruger instead of Reinier here? Even though we're running a magic damage dealer of Odie, the Kruger actually was the best comp. Okay, the damage already seems 25 billion at 30 seconds left. We're on track to hit probably 30 billion. Yeah, we need to watch. Is the damage ticking when the boss goes off the map and vanishes? That's the thing I want to watch. Yeah, it is ticking. So that is why Odie, I think, is the best damage dealer here, because other damage dealers can only attack when the boss is actually on the field. Yeah, with the Reinier, the damage is going to be substantially higher because all of that like increased damage received from your team, especially the Odie, 31 billion damage. So in the Lone Gaze, there's quite a big difference between like Reinier instead of the Kruger here. Odie got off massive damage, 16 billion, and Thorn didn't even get as much as the Kruger team, or the Shakir team, I think. 31 billion, and previously we got almost 29 billion, so like a almost 2.5 billion damage differential with without running Reinier. But still, it is a good option if you don't have Reinier at Mythic Plus yet. And even with that, we were rank 7 of our district and rank 2 somehow of our server. So yeah, that's the good news. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully it gave you some ideas of teams you can run in the Lone Gaze Dream Realm boss. This is for endless mode, but these tips can also apply to the previous modes. Like for the Lone Gaze boss, it's pretty similar. You're always going to be running almost the same team. I ran this pretty much same team when the season first launched, or in the early days of the season, and now we're still running the same team because you still have one dedicated damage dealer, which is Odie. You'll protect him as much as you can, and you have then in the final slot either Kruger, Shakir, or ideally Reinier at Mythic Plus. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. That is going to be it for this one, and if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe because we upload daily AFK journey videos on the channel with updates and guides to help your progression and keep you up to date with everything. And also, we have been partnered on YouTube, so big thank you for everyone for all of the support. It would not be possible without all of you. And we have YouTube members as well enabled, which I'm planning that for this mode, it's basically if you want to pay to support the channel, it's a monthly payment of $5, and you would then get a membership badge, as well as what I have offered right now is going to be you will be able to request videos, and your request will definitely be made into a video. So it's not just you can leave suggestions for what video ideas you want. You have a guaranteed per month I would make a video exactly on the topic that you want. So if you do want to support even more, that would be amazing. But already just from watching alone, your support is so appreciated, and thank you for watching, guys. That's gonna be it for this one. I will hopefully see you in the next video, and until then, everyone, peace out for now, and thank you for watching.